Quítale el internet a mi
Hey guys, this is Jason with Amazing Vacations, and I am here doing a Caballeros del Rio interview again with Manuel Segura. His nickname, I guess, is Big Water. Correct, Walter? I need to have
Big
a
water.
Big Water. I need to have a cool name like that. Someday I'll be able to get a nickname, but I still am yet to the unnamed nickname when I
We
visit
we
Costa
need
Rica.
more. We need more, Jason. We need a lot of more of miles of river to get that name.
I'm nowhere near that, but we're super excited to talk with Manuel. I was just talking with him, and they said that it's raining super hard there, and so the microphone issues that we're having is actually a lot of rain that's coming down. So we're here to kind of chat with Manuel, but I had a chance to talk just for a few minutes before we turned on here live. And Manuel has been all over the world with rafting championships. He's been a coach. He's I guess Manuel, you're one of the most decorated Costa Rica whitewater rafting people that there is when it comes to medals. Correct?
Well, it comes to not a lot of medals, but a lot of races.
A lot of races. Walter, what
A
did
lot
I
of
miss
races.
to introduce a little bit more of Manuel before we start asking him questions? What else did we miss to tell people about Manuel?
Well, a little World Rafting Championships, 2 Whitewater Camel Challenge on his back. Huh? He's been coaching. He's been promoting a healthy and then good whitewater in sport. Like rafting. Um, Hard worker. I've been seeing him building his eco lodge, like working super hard there. So really admire that. And then always see him with Andrea, his wife, and Enrique, his son. So
Enrique,
that's
son.
that's amazing. Yeah, seeing them together, that's something great to see.
Awesome. Well, Manuel, let's kind of dive right in. Maybe tell us a little bit about how you got started in Whitewater. We've had some really fun stories from everything. With
Oh, yeah.
my favorite one so far is wearing a motorcycle helmet that was very very heavy when they were trying to
Oh,
kayak.
well, I think I saw that one. I saw that one for sure. I remember that guy. Yeah, no, well, hello everybody. And thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, I grew up by the river. Let's start over there. I grew up tubing. I grew up in Pejivalle, so my backyard was the river.
Mhm.
So we were tubing all the time since I was 8 years old, probably. And then we saw kayakers, and we were very curious about it. My brother Carlos, he was, I'm the older brother, so he told me, well, you should learn kayaking, and then you can teach us. So I think that's how we start, because we were right there chasing the kayaks with the inner tubes.
And what kind of kayak did you learn to boat in?
Okay, a good friend, Ronald Bodher from Explora Natura. He was learning also at that time, so he gave us the chance to leave a kayak in our house, a big Mirage per section, huge, long. I don't know if you know that boat, but it's a big
I
boat.
don't. I learned it in
Okay.
RPM, so a Dagger RPM was
Oh
my
no,
boat. So
RPN was like 10 years after the Mirage. Mirage is a big boat, so we make our paddle from wood. My
okay,
grandfather helped me. With the paddle cedar paddle, so we make our own paddle, and that's what we start learning over there.
awesome.
Wow.
And so just on all spots along the Piquibaye is where you kind of learned then down low, up high, on the upper.
Yes, I was hiking with the kayak in my shoulder and go to the upper, not to the upper part, but to the school.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody knows the school putting.
Yep.
So I was going all the way to the school putting with the kayak in my shoulders, and then down to my house.
Wow. Very cool.
Wow.
And you were just doing that by yourself. You didn't have anybody to boat with you then.
No, not the first year. Then my brothers
That's
they
cool.
learned, and then they went together, and then I saw the kayakers, but not the first year. We did it pretty much in.
That's interesting, right, Manuel? Because you are a guy. Carlos is a guy. Alex is a guy. I know Katia is guiding right now. I don't know Marisol.
No,
That's all, right?
uh, four
Yeah,
of
but
us, we are very involved
uh-huh.
in the river. So my
So
family,
that's
we're
cool.
6 kids, four of us. We are very involved with the rafting.
What share a little bit of how did you end up getting involved in the international and the rafting championships? How did you get invited to go do that?
Okay, that was back when I started working for Rios Tropicales.
Mm-hmm.
Rios Tropicales was very helping. They were very helping a lot the sport industry or the racing industry. So back then, when you're 20 years old, that's what I got the name Big Water, because I was fearless. So I was fearless and I learned pretty quick. So I got invited in the rafting team and I say yes. I didn't think twice. Since then, I started training and I've been in the team since 1997.
Wow.
Wow.
And what's some of your favorite places you've been able to visit with those championships?
Okay, Japan is being great. We went to the Futalefu 2000. Futalefu is a great river. I like it a lot. So for me, it's one of the favorite rivers. Even if Zambezi is huge and it's just like beautiful river, and just the fact of being just below Victoria Falls is great. But Futalefu has that, for me, number one place.
Even better than the Pequare, then, huh?
Well, different, very different, because that was my first race out of the country. I was very used to the rainforest, but I wasn't used to that different landscape like I saw in the Futalefu. So that's why that hit my heart and my soul. But Pequare, like I said, we've been in many rivers, and Pequare, being able to raft safe rapids in the middle of the rainforest, clean river, nice water temperature, you don't see that in many places around the world.
Got it. What as you're thinking about? So a lot of Americans are thinking, okay, I want to go back down to Costa Rica. We're getting through this COVID. What advice would you have for a tourist or an American tourist that's trying to decide, should I go to Chile or Africa, or if they want to do rivers, what would you tell them about Costa Rica and Whitewater and kind of an adventure vacation?
Well, I think the cities, as long as I'm thinking that's what I think. As long as you're out of the cities where you have all the bunch of people, and you come out here in the rainforest, everything changed. We take care of all the protocols, and we try to be very safe and clean. But even before this, especially when we do small operations, because I do my small rafting operation, so our market and our target was these kind of people who want to do like private, small groups, small trips. So I think it's very safe. It's very safe right now. We are all working to keep it like that.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And, I know, Walter, we've talked a little bit, but what's the latest on Costa Rica and the border? And I mean, I think August 1st it opened up and people are able to travel down to Costa Rica now, correct?
Yeah, open up. They open up in August 1st. We're still waiting for new countries to be open. No US, unfortunately. Hopefully soon. But yeah, they're still working on insurances, on the tests, and then they still have some troubles right there. But we're getting there. We're ready at least. I know, Manuel, we've been talking about how we're excited of having people coming down, and then we're ready for it.
Got it.
Yeah, and I think if everybody takes care of the tourists, it's going to start little by little, because now we have one flight a day or 4 flights a week, which that's like very little of what we were used to it.
Right.
But if we show that we can do it safely, and we can take good care of all the things that we have to take care of.
Yeah,
people will go back and they want to tell, yeah, it's pretty safe to travel. So that's the imagine that we want to show the people.
See, I just wrote a review from a person who came from Spain with Iberia. So this person flew in, and she did a really nice like feedback about how the flight was safe and then landing in Costa Rica, doing through customs and everything. So she did a nice feedback. So hopefully that's true first. But it was a good resort. So it was good to hear that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Manuel, I'm curious. Let's jump back to maybe a little bit of the national championships. What if somebody's wanting to kind of be doing that? Go to the championships and win a championship. What advice? You've coached a lot of people. What advice do you have for these younger kids that are wanting to be rafting champions or wanting to get better at doing the river?
Well, they have to be committed with the team, and they gotta be serious. They gotta have a lot of. They gotta be very strict because all these kids, they're gonna be in high school, so they gotta be good students first, and then the rest of the time they gotta be with the team. They gotta be training a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the key. That's many hours training, many hours together. Because when we were training, one of the difficulties we had is all of the members of the team, they were not from the same area. Finally, when Walter was in, we were teammates, we were together in the team. Most of us, we were from Turrialba, and that's when we got a little bit more success because we had more time for training and more time to be together as a team.
Got it. Walter, you were, I think Manuel was one of your first coaches, correct? Oh, you're muted. Walter, you're muted.
Yeah, you're right, Jason. We have to say that, Manuel. Come on. So
it was very hard at the beginning. Yeah.
Little by little, like I said. No, in 2009 when they came back from Bosnia, actually,
mm-hmm.
It was when Manuel came with that idea. So they invited me to come, and then that was the plan at the beginning. Brand new team, people who wanted to train, people with discipline. That was what we were looking for. Manuel has all the experience. We have the time. So we did great. Actually, we paddled together 5 years. We won like 98% of the competitions in that time.
Yeah.
And yeah, right. We just lost 2, I think. 1 for Holland and 1 for Brazil.
That's right.
Besides that, we won every single competition in the rafting in 6
Costa
persons.
Rica.
In Costa Rica, yes. And yeah, we were traveling a few.
But now Arnaldo's joined us now. I know, Arnaldo, you've been probably listening in. What memories or what things should people know about Manuel as your for what you know about him?
Oh, I've been. Hola a todos.
Hola, pura vida.
Well, pura vida, Manuel, in the sport and seeing, how serious they take, to compete, and that's something like really, really nice. How much effort they put into competition, and that's one of the questions that I have for Manuel, which is what a team need to become world champion. What a Costa Rica team need to have to become world champion.
Okay, that's a good question, and I think we have the conditions. We have the conditions because we have, especially in Turrialba. Unfortunately, we don't have the Reventa zone anymore running over there by Angostura, which that was something very big that we lost. We lost by building the dam. We lost that section. But okay, the point is, we have the conditions to train all year round, but we don't have the resources. In our country, very few sports, they get a lot of resources from government, sponsorship, from brands. So that's what if somebody gets good sponsorship, they can give the good conditions for a team to train a couple of days a week, and that will for sure make a world championship.
Probably, you guys know better other rafting teams, like I would say, for example, Brazil, which is a big name in the rafting competitions of the pond. What what's between those teams and Costa Rica? You know that.
Oh,
People that don't know.
no, that there is a long stretch. It's a different level,
See,
especially the last 5, 6 years. Many years ago, we were very close, but when these guys they took it seriously and they get all the sponsors and all the help, they really took off.
uh-huh.
But we were very close 8 years ago.
I remember 2006.
Yeah.
2006, the Pan American Games here in Costa Rica. I remember Manuel fighting with Brazil, like shoulder to shoulder. Like doing very well. At that time, they were doing that. I feel like from there is when Brazil, boom, went up. And they've been together for a while. That's another interesting part. They've been together, like this team from Brazil. They've been together for a while, so that helps a lot too. And of course, some sponsor that they have. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Manuel, tell me a little bit more about. So you've spent the last several years building an eco lodge along the Pequari River. What made you decide to do that? And tell us a little bit about it.
Okay. After I decided to start my own rafting operation. I have this very good friend who he started with me, Daniel Colimon. He lives in Texas right now, so he's looking big help for him. So Daniel Colimon, my wife, my son, and I, we start building Costa Rica Extreme. And at the same time, we start developing this eco lodge. I got the property before that. I got the property on the river. It was a big pasture area, and we've been reforestating since then. So we probably recovered like 10 or 15 acres at this point back to forest. So yeah, we've been building everything there. Now the eco lodge is changing, like we were talking earlier with Walter. We used to be a regular tent camp. Now it's more like an eco lodge. We have a few rooms with more private rooms, big kitchen, and we are now growing a lot of stuff in our garden. So the people going there, they can go and harvest some of the things that they're going to be cooking at the same time. So we can give a different experience to families and individuals, private groups. So that's where we're going. That's our direction. Doing like a eco lodge and sustainable farm.
And are most people staying more than one night there, or are they just staying a single night and then going down the river again?
I have some students trips coming, and they stay 2 nights.
Okay.
Because there are some hikes to do, and they are also planting trees. So there are many things to do, and 1 night is not enough. So yeah, they stay 2 nights.
But I'm looking at some of the comments on here. So Monica Gutierrez says that you're an amazing guy, but you've always been very supportive of women in whitewater rafting. So tell me a little bit about what have you done to help women in the rafting scene in Costa Rica?
Okay, yeah, Monica is a great friend of us. Hi, Monica. Yeah, supporting the female teams is they always need, Costa Rica. We're a lot of it's difficult for the ladies to go on their own. So I've been always very supportive. I've been always there, like taking care of, helping them with a boat, taking care of different stuff, depending on the river. Some of the rivers, they have big rapids. So scouting, kayaking ahead of them, helping them with the shuttle and transport, and also making them believe that they can do it. They just need to spend time on the water.
Yeah.
So they've done great.
Well, my guess is the women probably are easier to coach. I've coached boys soccer.
Oh no.
And I coach a girls soccer team, and I've coached girls for years. And I love girls soccer. Girls are they want to learn. They're coachable, and the boys sometimes just want to there'll be a wall and they want to just how can I push through this wall? And the girls are smarter, and anyway, I love working with the girls.
Same thing in kayaking, right, Arnaldo? It's the same thing in kayaking that they listen, they want to pay attention and then do it, right?
No, I agree with you. Once they are in the raft and they're sitting on the raft, they do everything.
And they usually do it better than the boys, right? Once you can show them how to do it, they usually learn faster and they progress faster than the boys do, I find.
No, they do, for sure.
Well, hopefully soon we have a women's national champion or world champion rafting team down in Costa Rica. We can get some sport down there more.
Like I say, we need more support. Companies together, just a little bit more union, because it's very difficult it's a lot of expenses.
Yeah.
And once you have a team and everybody starts spending, then people go in different directions. But if they have a lot of people who support them, they will stay together.
Yep. So one of my favorite questions I've asked some of the other caballeros on these interviews is, what's one of the funniest stories you have from guiding from all these years?
Well, I have many stories, and we can stay here like 2 hours. But between funny and crazy stories, I was gear boating. I have this boat full of stuff, and we were in this camp, and we were leaving. It was the second day. I have my boat full of stuff, all the luggage. I tied the boat to a root. And I was expecting that was very strong. I know that type of wood, and I know it was very strong. But anyway, I went to get something else. When I came back, the boat wasn't there, with all the luggage and everything. And this was in Rio Tropicales Lodge. I was working for them back then. So anyway, what I did is I get my life jacket and my helmet. I jump in the river. I started swimming downstream. So I have to swim all the way to El Bobito. So that's 2 miles. Swimming, chasing the boat. Finally, I saw the boat and I got it. But that was, when I got the boat and everything was safe, they make a lot of fun of me.
Well, they didn't know that the boat had left either. You were going to be by yourself then. You were going to be with other people.
Exactly. They didn't know. I just grabbed. The first thing I thought was put my life jacket on and my helmet and swim, chasing the boat.
Nice.
Okay, that's a fun one.
What other funny stories have you got?
Or swim.
Or swims, or worse swim, I guess.
Swims. Worst swim. Okay. I've been always a good swimmer. So that's not I've been practicing a lot. But
I know.
when we were in, I fell from the raft. That's what I have many funny stories in some slalom courses. I fell in the slalom course in Bosnia. This was a beautiful course at night, and one of the guys I just fell, and the rest of the guys, they didn't know I was underneath the boat. But the worst swim probably was in Futalefu, super cold water. And like I say, that was my first race out of the country, and I was not expecting how your body reacts in cold water. So it's a huge rapid, the wave, Mundaka, big wave at the end, we flip. And a kayaker have to come and get me because I was not able to swim. I was too cold, and that was probably my worst swim.
On your first trip.
Yeah.
First competition. No, it's interesting. I was laughing so hard because I remember we were, paddling, sometimes training, most of the times. And at some point we were go. And at some point someone was like, "Hey, Manuel!" And we were looking at, and he wasn't there, because he was always trying to steer, or not steer, but keeping the raft. And at some point he couldn't get a little down or something. And at some point, boom, out. And then we realized that, where is Manuel? Super fun.
That's the price. That's the price you pay, to take control of the boat.
So does the entire crew have to cross the finish line, Walter, or is it just the boat?
All
No,
of
no,
us in the boat.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You
why
can
I
be-
say you gotta be a good swimmer to catch up with the boat.
Yeah. That's funny. So you guys, there is a dual. Ahí el dual está conectado. Mariela, Stanley Esquivel, Joana. Muchos saludos ahí a todos. Navarro,
Todavía,
Dieguito.
saludos.
Ahí está Maureen también, su hermano. Saludos. Pura vida.
Pura vida, saludos a todos.
But
Eso.
so there was one other comment that I saw in the Facebook post that says you're as well known on the river as you are in the kitchen. Is that true?
Wow. Okay, well,
You can tell the truth, no worries.
yeah, I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and when we do these camping trips, or nowadays not camping, it's like overnight trips, we spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and I like it a lot. And sometimes I just take that position and be the chef, you know, and have other people to help me, and I really like it. I like that a lot. Now we miss that because it's been 4 or 5 months. So I miss that a lot. That part I really miss it. I like to see the people join to see watching us how we're cooking, especially when we grab all the fresh vegetables, especially when we grow some of them and we run and get them. So I like that.
Well, and what is your favorite meal to cook for people on the river? What's your all-time favorite meal that you do?
Well, I like. I have this chicken with mushroom sauce, then many people like it a lot. We also do very nice salads. I love breakfast, but I think this chicken with mushrooms, that's something that I can do very well.
I'm agreeing.
And Walter, we haven't been able to steal the recipe yet then on the mushroom sauce.
Oh, I signed out the deal with him, so I cannot do it in our trips. No, yeah, I've been with his trips many times, and then we've been learning from him. That's another thing, Manuel. You know, you've been coaching, you've been creating new athletes, new guides. Also, you kind of have a school right there in Costa Rica Stream. So really appreciate that because it's been helping us for sure, and then I know a lot of people who's been turning a guide for you. So. That's amazing, you know. Yeah.
So that's something that I really enjoy a lot. I've been in different rafting companies, and you know, back in 2003, 2004, 2005, I was teaching a lot of guys, you know, because when you have a new guy coming to the company, what they do is they send it with one of the people who had more experience, and you're taking that guy back there sitting with you. So I was always trying to help and encourage and pushing them to do it. And also with my son and my wife, it's been great because that's how I met my wife. She got to the rafting company and I was the instructor, so that what happened.
But one of the things I've been most impressed with, and I've said this on other interviews, but you can tell that everyone wants to help each of these guides become better. And it's not so much, you know, I think there's been guides that have gone and done their own things, but as a group, I think all of the guides have each other's back, and you guys, it's like a brotherhood on the river. And you guys, it seems that everyone celebrates the success of each other, you know, and everybody realizes, man, if Rios Tropicalis is doing good, so is everybody else. And if, you know, if Manuel's doing well, you can just tell that everybody's wants to see everybody do well because it's good for Costa Rica and for tourism, and that's really cool to see on the river. Whereas I think sometimes people can get, you know, thinking, oh, I got to take care of myself or in my business, but when everyone can realize that everybody benefits from this, I think it's the feeling changes. It's just a friendlier, you know, it's different. I don't know how to describe it except when you see it when you're on the river in Costa Rica.
Yeah, and you see that a lot in Pacuare, because Pacuare is a long river, is not a lot of access to the river or weights out, so we definitely take care of each other. Some places where you have shorter trips and more people, that doesn't happen.
You lose that.
But I think that's what you mean. In Pacuare, in Turrialba area, once we're in the river, we definitely see each other as a family.
Yeah.
And like back when I was teaching guys, well, I still teaching some guys, and when I teach my son, when he started kayaking, I always told him, you know, you have to take care of people because they're gonna be taking care of you.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Walter or Arnaldo, you guys have any other questions or thoughts? We gotta make sure we bring up.
I was
if someone knew,
Arnaldo.
You can go ahead, Walter.
No, I wanted to comment a little bit. It's difficult to explain that you say Jason, and Jason, you've been with us in the water, and you see the friendly part. And Manuel was right. In our trips, we're in Pacuare, which is longer trips, it's a full day. So you see people very often in kind of the same faces, you know. So you turn familiar with them, you know. You see this family most of the time, every day, and then you sometimes you need some help or some laugh, and then someone comes to you and they hey, and then oh, awesome, you know. That crew that is in Pacuare, it's amazing. See, Arnaldo.
No, just want to ask you, if a new guy wants to become a guy, what's I don't know, 3 essentials that they need to have, or 2 essentials they need to have?
They gotta be
Someone
very.
new wants to.
They gotta be very humble when they show up, because sometimes when I know you've been teaching a lot in Walter as well. So when someone new is coming, that first impression right there. I know later things change, but sometimes the first impression right there, it really make you feel like, okay, this guy, we're gonna help him a lot. Oh, this guy, he is gonna be difficult. So you need, to pay attention, be respectful, and you have to don't give up, because it's not easy, especially guiding. It's not easy. When I was kayaking, I took over a year to do the Eskimo roll. At one point, I thought, no, I'm not going to learn it. Maybe I'm going to kayak like this. But sometimes you just don't give up. Keep trying. And safety first.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
Well, when do you feel like people will be able to travel back down from America? When will do you think they'll let the United States people coming back into Costa Rica, guys?
Well, thanks God we have open airport right now, and we are allowed to do our rafting operations and everything. So that will show that these activities and these sports are safe. But now I think, to be positive, 3 or 4 months.
So you think it'll be longer, right? So it's been interesting to get a lot of the reports. Dave Faber, who's our business partner on this, he's a surgeon, and I had the chance last week to spend quite a bit of time with him, and he feels like if you look at the charts with each of the countries, there's usually a 2-month spike in when there's a large amounts of cases. And then after that 2 months, if you look like Italy and Spain and Sweden and all of these European countries, you can see it actually starts to drop off, and there's less cases and less deaths. Utah, where I'm at, we've kind of hit that hump, the top of the mountain, if we want to call it that, and we're hitting about 2 months, and it's starting to drop off. New York, same thing, it started to drop off significantly. And so I think one of the hopeful things is with all of these countries, after that 2-month period, it starts to slow down, and it's not near as impactful. And hopefully the same thing's happening in Costa Rica, where you guys, as I've looked at your graphs, it looks like end of June is where the spike started to happen. And my guess is if the trend continues for Costa Rica and each of the states in the United States, because really it's almost like you have 50 little countries, because every state's kind of done things different here in the United States. We've had most of the states now have had their spike. They aren't quite done with their 2 months, but my guess is within another month or so, things will really start to improve. And even the sad thing is even in Utah where I'm at, so we were as the hot the hot list of there's lots of cases here. It's never really felt like it was that much. I know the hospitals have never been overwhelmed. I've got several doctor friends. You'll see the news where they're saying, "Oh, it's really, really bad," but the actual, in most cases, in most places in the United States, it hasn't been that bad, is what you see on the news with the reports. So, hopefully for Costa Rica, if anybody from Costa Rica is watching, you guys don't get too worried about it. It hasn't been near as significant as I have friends who were in New York when it was really bad and making the news, and they were doctors and saying, "Look, the news says this, but we're at the hospital and it's we're busy but not overwhelmed ever." So
I'm finger crossed. I'm
fingers
expecting
crossed.
September. I'm expecting September, hopefully, to start happening and then start receiving clients. But September, and then if you're thinking to come, make sure that we're ready. We're gonna take care of you. We have a lot of protocols. We hope you understand that too, because we need to use the mask. We have a lot of things to follow, and then I'm sure if someone decides to come to Costa Rica and pay the ticket, do the test, and then pay the insurance, everything needs to be required to come. Once you're here, and know that you're gonna follow that, and then you're gonna have fun with us. Manuel, Ronaldo, any of the person that we know in Costa Rica is ready for you guys to come.
Yep. Well, Manuel, I know we're a little bit over time. Our goal is to keep it to 30 minutes, but thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us. Hopefully some of this information is helpful to some of the American travelers wanting to come down and visit. And we're just excited. I know we've got dozens and dozens of people that want to come to Costa Rica, so there's lots of people wanting to travel there as soon as it opens up. Hopefully there's enough flights. We can get lots of people down and really come enjoy the rivers. So,
awesome.
All right.
Manuel, before we go, let's make the list, because we have a big list of your World Championships and then Camel, right? So they make the list just to make sure that it's staged in the video and the record. Manuel, the first one was Futa de Fu. Zambezi. Those were Camel, right?
Those were Camel Whitewater Challenge.
And then the World Rafting Championships.
The first World Rafting Championship in West Virginia, the Upper Gully.
Wow. Upper Gully, and then after that 2003, which was Czech Republic. 5, Ecuador. 7, no one went from Costa Rica, right?
No.
Bosnia and Herzegovina, 2008. And 9, Costa Rica, 2011.
Correct.
We went to New Zealand, 2013.
Correct.
2015, Indonesia. And then you turned into Master.
Then I went to Masters.
And you went to Argentina and?
No, I went Japan.
Oh. Okay, Japan.
Japan.
Australia, last one.
Australia.
All right.
Yes.
Wow. So we can say that you've been in Futa de Fu, Zambezi, Upper Gully, best rivers of the world, I guess, right? Yeah. That's insane.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Manuel, for your time, and we really appreciate you talking to us, and we'll see you on the water again for sure soon.
All right. Thank you, guys, and we're gonna be waiting for all those people that want to come here and go down the Pacuare River.
Awesome. Pura vida, everybody.
All right.
Pura vida.
Pura vida.